Welcome to our first ever Jerry's Live After Party. Now, this is the first and only show that's pre-recorded to discuss things that happen on a live show that has yet to happen at the time of this recording. So, this is quite the leap of faith. So we hope that we're doing this in the right order. We haven't seen it yet. We haven't done it yet. But for those of you joining us after Jerry's Live, the purpose of this is to kind of give you an idea of how these products actually look and are used, because Facebook Live only lets us stream at such high quality, and we both want to make sure that you guys see it in the beautifulest of light. So your host, Amy Gardner-Dean, Jerry's Live and the After Party. I am but a humble servant. Humble me.
All right. Well, and we're done. No.
And done.
All right. So with talking about pastels like we've done, not yet, but already.
You're right.
We've talked about all the different, like the hardness, the kind of semi-hard, the soft pastels, and then even the oil pastels. So what we're going to talk about now, to be able to show it so people can actually see and get an above view, we're going to discuss hard pastels first, because essentially with hard pastels, although some people do use them actually for their pastel work, they're really more for kind of designed for your underdrawings and things, or coming in and, like with pastel pencils or something, smaller, to get a nice sharp edge where you're trying to kind of tighten up a work. Because with pastels, it's a little softer and more muted because you don't have like a pencil type razor edge, or like even with oil paints where you've got those fine line brushes. So now people do, another thing that people use them for a lot is for sketching, like if you're going to do tone sketches, chiaroscuro, things like that. You can take it and kind of do some different colors. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try these and show them on a number of different surfaces that are designed for pastel. First let's go with, these are kind of probably your most hard, like the Prismacolor new pastels. Pick a color. You've got a dark paper.
I will. For the YouTube audience that knows me, I'm not a big fan of pastels, and I don't even know why I volunteered to be up here, but I am prepared. So,
this is not pushing your artistic comfort zone.
I'm pushed.
By gloving up.
You're next. Okay, so grab doesn't matter the color?
Yeah, lighter will show up a little better on yours than something darker.
Alrighty, get this kind of fleshed out.
All right, so just try to make some kind of lighter, thinner lines, and then some thicker lines.
Okay, so show me what you mean.
All right, so with a nice edge, you can see how sharp of a line you can get. You can see with the textured paper, it's not going to be, you could push harder to get it to fill in a little bit more.
So I'm going to apply more pressure with the edge.
Yes. Then that's perfect, because I would say then you're going to do this.
That's the hardest thing, I think, if you have a brand new pastel set.
Yes, because you don't want to. I mean, nobody wants nubs left for everything.
Right, but if you treat them as precious, you probably won't even use them in the first place.
No. So just take that smaller piece, and then you're going to use it just to kind of
that's
lock
pretty.
in. See how that gives you some nice.
It's like a girly elephant.
It kind of is.
I don't know why that.
Yeah. All right, so take that and then take another color that's similar. There's another darker. This is easier.
Watch us contort.
Yes.
Another similar color to what I'm using?
Yes. So like with another smaller piece, like a pink or something like that. And then we're going to do a technique that's called layering.
Okay.
Okay, so you're going to take that and you're going to put it lightly over it so that you can see kind of through it.
Now, look what just happened. I got both edges. So is that going to happen to me every time?
What you can do is either over here kind of grind that edge down.
Okay.
Or if a sanding pad would work as well.
There we go.
Okay, but see how that kind of takes it and turns it into a little bit different color, but you can still kind of see through that. That's a way of changing color, since you can't mix like with paint, with pastels.
Blend it.
You can't. You can blend, but I mean this is much cleaner than if you're doing this. See how that just turns in, doesn't look a thing like it. So it gives you kind of that way of making a nice kind of combined color with the two.
And using a textured paper, generally people want to see the texture.
Right.
They don't want it all filled in.
Right.
Where you can't see the gap. So having that show through is part of the.
Right. Well, to me, this is what people do with charcoal that are inexperienced, is they always want to smudge it and smear it, and then that loses some of kind of that nice crispness. This isn't really the medium for you as much if you're into something really crisp and
Precise.
photo
This is
real.
looser.
Yeah, yeah. So that's these are a very hard pastel, obviously. Okay, so we can take those and just.
Now this is the Prismacolor New Pastel.
This is Prismacolor New Pastel. Yeah.
that we were just
Yeah.
demonstrating.
I'm just
All right.
gonna chuck these over here.
So let's go down the line.
All right. So then another one that's just maybe a slight bit softer would be like the Conte pastel pencils. They can say it's a soft pencil, soft pastel pencil. You can only make something so soft if you're putting it in a wood
Right.
barrel.
If
And
you
really,
try to sharpen it, it will crack
Right.
if it didn't have enough, I guess, clay in it to hold it
right.
together.
And so really what you're talking about is, and I mean, yeah, if you just dropped it and it was super soft, it would be just all cracked within there. So
I could use this without a glove.
yes. So you're
But I
talking, you know, you can get super fine lines with these. You can do
Ooh,
cross
this is actually
hatching.
really nice to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See how much that's really pops on that.
It doesn't
that
it?
color, doesn't it? It's very
Completely
electric.
unintentional. I am not that talented.
Or are you?
Shh, don't let them know that
It's
I'm
you.
actually.
You've absorbed stuff. You're learning. Okay. So see how you can get nice.
Oh yeah, hatching and cross
Do
hatching.
cross hatching. Cross hatching is another way to blend color with pastels without actually having to blend. You could get another color.
Go over it again.
Now this can be done in soft pastels, but obviously the tightness of that. Did you pick a different color? to
Not
go
yet.
over?
Let me
Okay.
go a little lighter.
Yeah, a little lighter, a little darker. But
Okay.
see how this is very different than my.
Ooh.
Makes a nice blend between the two. That looks really nice on there too.
And I don't know, but these particular Conte, I mean, they're holding together nicely. They're not
Yes.
snapping.
No, these are very nice. This is a pretty
Is this
nice
the same
traditional
thing, the
soft-
same that goes into a Conte crayon, or is it? It's a little
It's
bit.
a little softer.
It's a little
yeah,
softer.
it's softer. And probably, I would think that the pigmentation is probably more fine art, as opposed to, you know, where it's a lot of those Conte ones are a little more earth tone.
Sure.
This has a better color range, and it's more kind of typical of your regular pastels. The one thing you're going to find in pastel pencils, especially, is you're not going to get the range that you get in like the soft pastels.
Right.
Even with the hard pastels, they generally don't go up beyond like a 72 count color. So, and that's the thing, is just it's always invest in more than less, because you can't, like you've seen, you can't blend by
Right.
smearing and
Right.
and all that. So all right, so that's kind of the next step. Then we're going to go up to what's called a semi-hard pastel. These are the Monkey-O Gallery.
And so far, we've just been using a
Oh, yeah,
toned,
let's switch.
a toned pastel paper, right?
Yeah.
So now these are sanded pastel papers, okay? And we've got one at a finer grit and one at a heavier grit. So I
Yes,
guess
this is
which one?
this is just like when you're using a power sander or hand sanding, you
Right.
know, in shop. The lower the number, the 240 is going to be more grit. The higher the number is going to be finer and less grit.
No number at all.
No, it's a different brand.
Different brand grit.
Yes. So well, it's just, so you can see two different tone kind of
Right.
two colors. So
Okay,
all right.
so for comparison, should we? I guess we can jump right into.
Let's do that, and then we'll grab a Conte and kind of outline.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right.
So pick. You know, you've got
I want this one.
more range of color.
Did you want that one?
I find it odd that you're getting all these pinks, but that's just.
I'm one for the pink.
Yeah, I guess.
You know
Alright.
what I'm talking about.
Go out of here. All right.
This says violet. Is this violet?
um,
We're editing
maybe
that
like
out.
maybe like a quinacridone violet. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can.
'Cause
maybe
quinacridone-
like a green gold. All right, so you're gonna.
See what kind of a fine line you can actually get a pretty decent. Now feel how this is softer than that Conte.
Yes.
It's still a hard pastel. It's not just powdering onto the surface. Oh, now you're getting all ahead of it. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I was
I was
gonna tell you
very
to do that,
excited. I was a little premature.
but-
Sorry.
Yeah.
So you're going straight up and down.
Yeah,
with it.
look at I was just seeing how much you can fill in with this paper. With that other paper that we had with the texture,
Mm-hmm.
it was really hard to fill that in. I don't know if you could fill that in since this is softer.
Well, the
Let's see.
sand is just
Oh, see?
literally gripping and
yeah,
absorbing.
yeah.
up this
See, you
pastel.
can't even pushing the same amount. You can't
Yeah, let me try that over here with
get that
the
on.
Will's camera. So even pushing the same, this is the same effort I was using on the other one.
You just can't fill it in.
You can't fill it in the
Yeah.
way I've gotten.
So that's nice.
Yeah.
Try the same color on the white just to see what the kind of
On the,
if
on
there's
the,
a difference. Yeah.
So this is the lighter too.
Yes. Try
okay.
kind of the same strokes, and then see the color pops a little bit more because of that kind of clarity of.
Oh yeah.
Although, I don't know. It seems like it does a pretty nice job on that too. It's just a little brighter.
Right. And could some of that also just be that the tone of the paper is a little different?
Yeah. Well, yeah, and one's gonna grip a little. This feels a little grippier to me.
Now I have to ask a question. How do you feel about blowing pastels?
I don't.
You don't.
That you don't want that dust airborne.
So what's one to
Because that's
do?
going to go somewhere. Good thing is just to have
A trash can or something?
a trash can or something, and you could knock it off.
Okay. So
Ta-da! Look at that.
let's do it so people can see.
Yeah.
All right. So you would just kind of just
Yes.
tap,
but
tap, tap it.
then keep in mind
that this might happen.
that happens.
So
See how
that-
I
yeah.
turned mine upside down?
Yeah, I'm inexperienced. Yeah, she's cleaner. So maybe I should have.
And if you were working with pastels, you generally have it on an easel with it tilt a little bit forward, right?
Right.
So that's going to fall off and it's not going to smear down, which I actually did that on purpose with just an angled easel with a soft pastel work, so you'll be able to see the colors.
Right, and that's
kind of the
why
dust coming down.
certain easels, will be able to tilt not only
Right.
back but forward, so
Right.
that when you're working with pastels, and just be prepared that it will fall over your
Right.
lap if you're not ready
Right,
for it.
right.
But that's why it does that forward tilt.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay, try one other color and do the cross hatching over it just to see.
all right. Should I just do something? Let's see. I'll go into purple.
Yeah, that'd be a nice. Go with
So you want me to cross hatch over this?
or cross hatch over your lighter lines and then try kind of the very careful kind of where we blended over it. Since it's not broken, I'm just using the. So you can get kind of a blend of the two. It's a little harder. Oh, that's nice.
That's kind of fun,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that's cool.
Tell me it's fun. Tell me I'm pretty.
Oh, you're pretty.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, so that's a semi-hard. There's a whole bunch of different brands that kind of fall into this category where it's going to be a little bit softer. Just from the powder, you can see that this is softer. The
Right.
softer something is, the more it's going to powder up. But because it's harder too, it's bigger particles that are going to break
Right.
off. Okay. All right. So let's grab the watercolor.
Yeah, this will be our last for the hard pastel category.
Yes.
These are water soluble, I guess for consistency.
Yeah, that works. All right.
It's my nephew's favorite color.
It's okay.
Doing
My
it for
son's
him.
favorite's purple, so.
I like purple.
He wears purple for everything. Okay, so just kind of do a doodle and then we're gonna try this out. Now, with soft pastels, the main binder is gum arabic, so you're gonna be able to make them very water soluble. So this isn't this only comes in this, right? You can do that with soft pastels, but with these, they have more gum arabic in it, so you're gonna be able to.
You're so much looser than I am. I'm all tight. So let me
Just wanna
loosen up.
see,
I gotta
Yeah, get that shoulder
warm up
going.
the shoulder. No matter what I do, I'm gonna turn this into a Mickey Mouse somehow. It's like it's coming out of
Yeah,
my soul.
your soul. Ha ha!
It'll be swell.
Yeah, exactly. Just doing this so when we wet it, it's a little easier to see. Uh-oh, that broke.
It's okay though.
No, I
Don't
did it on
panic.
purpose.
This is turning into some. Okay. Let me do something.
See, this is a party now.
Hooray! Okay.
All right, so water. Would you prefer I'll take the larger brush because that's kind of a lot of.
It's a lot of water to handle.
Yeah.
Amy, you're showering me.
Sorry about that. All right.
Roll it. My
All right.
paper's pre-wet, Will.
Let's see. You can do that too. We'll do that in a second.
Oh yeah. And sometimes you can like dip these in
Yeah,
water.
yeah,
and
yeah,
apply,
you can.
So like wet into dry, dry into wet.
Now with this, when you're doing it, if you want to keep that texture, you need to kind of do it with a lighter hand.
So it doesn't pick up the
Because
the
otherwise, I'm going to do it heavier with this lighter blue here. So, well, you don't. The texture's kind of a nice to have kind of the softness of the water, but the
Right, otherwise you might as well be using watercolor.
Yes.
This is giving you a new option. Okay.
All right. So, and then just wet somewhere down on your paper, and we're going to take them and draw directly on them.
I'm going to wet in this circle.
There you go.
All right.
All right, and then just take one of those.
Oh, I put them all
Colors
back.
and-
Okay. Let's see what that looks like.
See how much it lifts? I've got my paper really wet.
Mine, it's like, it's really vibrant. It's really popping the color. But you're, so like if I use okay, so you're using like a softer hand at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's a powerful color. But you can pick up how rich that
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is going
I
onto
mean,
the wet
that's
paper.
that's
And they still have a little bit of control. It's not like it's going everywhere
right.
on me.
No, that's well. And then the nice thing for this is if you wanted to do, you know, a larger scale work, you could really wet the paper down and get kind of a nice softness as the water kind of absorbs that
Right.
into that paper, and then it would leave that on top.
Okay.
And then go back over it. You know, you could do like almost an underpainting like this, and then go back over it and tighten back up your drawing. Even though this is a little bit wet, I can still kind of go back over it with that dry.
All right.
Okay.
All
So
right.
that's
That's hard pastel.
yes. So that's hard pastels. The just the new pastel pencils, semi-hard, down to something that's actually designed to be used more as a watercolor, kind of to play.
Okay, so let's go and we're going to strike this and we're going to
Yep.
come back with soft pastels.
I think that would be the next logical
That'll be the
step.
natural
Yep.
progression. All right,
Yep,
let's
do
progress
that.
naturally.
All right.
And sing. So we're moving on to the next section, which is
Now we're at soft pastels.
soft pastels.
Soft pastels.
Soft
yes.
pastels.
So as we learned in the video, or will be learning, no, it's after,
Yes.
filming after, essentially soft pastels were tweaked for Edward Degas.
They were tweaked.
By Sennelier for Edward Degas to make it very soft. Pastels were not really that soft before.
Okay.
So, so this is why we've got this realm of stuff that even after cleaning, you're pretty, well, or
Unclean.
some people wear gloves. So, so what we're going to do is we've got a number of the same kind of paper surfaces to try, plus kind of a velvety,
Okay.
more fabric style paper. And we're going to try some of the different brands that are out there. And you not really having as much experience with the pastels, it'll actually be good because then it's honest, like feedback, not from anybody who's swayed by
Right.
a particular brand or not.
I
So-
honestly have no idea what I'm doing.
So we've got a number of different types. We've got some that are like, these are the Holbein, where it's actually a pressed,
Okay.
which kind of theirs is soft, but it really could kind of be more that kind of semi-soft or semi-hard.
It's still
kind
leaning
of
towards
in
the harder
in the
side.
middle.
Right.
Then we've got the extruded, like the Rembrandt pastels that are where you can see that this actually is pressed in a tube and then comes out.
Machine made.
Yes, machine made. Then we've got ones like the Schminke and the Sennelier, which are put through a tube just to kind of help
Shape.
form them so they've got a shape, but they're still, especially with the Sennelier, you can kind of see in how they've dried, it's a little kind of, you know, squiggly. They're not pressed down, so it's very soft. It'll release, but it's not going to be so soft where it's going to be crumbly.
Okay.
Okay, so that's close to, you know, without it being rolled, a handmade pastel. It's going to be a similar texture. Then we've got some of the Unison, which are this, you know, really beautiful hand rolled texture. Then we've got the Mount Vision
Okay.
that are another very hand-rolled kind of.
Yeah, that looks
Yeah.
imperfect
Yes.
because it's made by hand, but it actually feels very solid.
All right, and then we've got the American Artworks, which are so soft. The color just like jumps off at you.
It's got a good weight to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's very soft.
Well, and the weight's going to depend on the pigment too.
Right, right.
All right, so, and then we also have to confuse you even more.
Right, because I am already,
We're going to deal with pan pastels as well. We're
deal
gonna
with
actually
them.
Try.
Well, that sounds like a biased opinion.
Well, it's just in that it's something it's very different.
It is very different.
It's very different.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool to try and to see what that's like. And we've got metallics, which are
Who doesn't like
exciting.
metallics?
Exactly. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We will start with the Holbein first, which of course I gave you blue paper. So use that dark one.
I'll use the dark one.
The Holbein are going to be the harder of these pastels. And first we're going to be trying it on just some of the Canson pastel paper.
Now it's already like you can see it coming off on my glove there. So the hard pastels didn't do this nearly as much. This is already a little bit softer than a hard pastel.
Now with this being the processed, where it's pressed, you can get a finer line and being kind of that square.
But I'm still getting all those nice.
Yeah, with the texture of the paper that we looked at the first time. So yeah, now that gives you. Yeah, feel how that comes off so much softer?
Yes.
It sounds scrapey, but it's just more the paper grabbing the texture, and you can see with the kind of excess of the dust that you've got there.
And I'm actually applying a little less pressure than I had to with the hard pastel.
Yep. So that's that. And again, when we talked about doing cross hatching and things like that to blend color, these would obviously, because they're a square form, square shape, and have a nice edge. And you could even sharpen these very easily because they're still firmer.
Firmer, right.
These would be good for those type of techniques. Then we're going to go to the Rembrandt. I'll let you pick whatever color you like with that. Let's try it on this, and then when
so
we
again,
get softer,
this is machine made, but a little bit softer than the Holbein.
Yes.
Okay. And there's no right or wrong. So much of this is just your preference. We're just trying to show you what you can get.
Well, no, exactly. When you're buying pastels, number one, if you're going to invest in them, get the largest set you can, because since we've already talked about, it's not easy to mix. You can't blend the color.
It's not like you can get
the more colors. This is 525.
You don't need
colors
that.
In a set. You don't need it. But I tell you what, it's easier.
It's easier.
So, and not all brands, with using these, feel how that's still it's soft, but it's still firm.
But I don't know if this is picking up, but like it is softer than this. It's not making that scraping noise for me. The same, it's a little bit softer. And then I can use the side and
yeah, to me, I'm surprised by how firm this actually is, as far as compared to some of these other ones, having used pastels.
Now, as we cross over to the more handmade ones, why is that desirable?
Because, for one thing, you can only layer so much. The firmer it is, the more you're going to have to kind of scrub it into your texture. You want them to be soft. You want it's just going to barely take touching it, and you're going to be releasing pigment. And the great thing, like we're going to mention on the Facebook Live, is
which we have mentioned.
Yeah, we've mentioned now, is that with these, it's the most permanent form. You're just pretty much putting down pure pigment.
Right.
There's not the adulterants of oils that can change the color, or with watercolors that can dull as it absorbs into the paper. This is laying right on top, so it's just pure pigment. So as far as that goes, you're getting what it's not going to change with varnishing or things like that. So
now the softest of pastels will always be handmade because they literally cannot be put in a machine. The machine's not, I guess, fragile enough to handle the softest of the pastels. They have to be made by hand because they're just that soft.
Yes, and they're not going to put as much, like in the ones that are machine made, they tend to put some clay to keep it firmer, so it's not going to get damaged when those molds are being popped open.
Right.
With these, they don't have to do that. You're talking about usually white chalk or things like that that as it gets lighter, this is obviously going to have more chalk in it than this is going to have.
Okay.
Okay, because the lighter a color gets, the more it's chalk. Now with the good quality ones, the super good quality ones, you're going to have more titanium white and stuff in it. They're not just going to rely on the chalk.
Like a talc or something.
Yes,
Okay.
but you'll see that mostly when you do the fixative on it.
So what's the next step? The schminke?
The next step are probably going to be the schminke, and when we do that, we're going to try that on this, and then we're going to go to the next level too, just so you can see what it does on this paper as far as release.
Again, we have purple and blue.
Yeah, that wasn't planned with the paper, but I
None of this is planned. We haven't even filmed what this is about yet.
I feel the difference with that.
That is way softer, and you
It's-
can even see just. I mean, how I had to kind of lighten my pressure.
It's like buttering with toast with bread, or like
It's
when
like-
the butter's set out.
Yes.
As
soft.
opposed to, yeah, it's like where it just goes, immediately starts sinking into the toast. It's
Right.
like that feeling, which I didn't eat breakfast, so I'm probably really hungry.
Aw, we can feed you. Where's craft services?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to turn this upside down. Okay.
But see how that fills in those pores more
Yes.
than those ones that we've used that are harder? If you really kind of rake it across, it's really going down in there deeper without a lot of pressure.
Right.
Okay, so kind of keep this to the side,
Okay.
because I want you to see when that's the really soft one, how that fills. Okay.
All right.
Now take that same schminke one
Yep.
and try that on this sanded paper. This is like a medium texture.
Okay.
See how you barely have to touch
It's like a marker. Like the
Yeah.
line is just so
it just
it just grips that color.
yeah. It fills it in. I'm barely touching it, trying to see if I can do it as light as possible, but it's still gripping it
let
right.
me try that. Yeah, basically the lighter I touch, it's just a thinner
Yeah.
line of still the same consistency.
Now, if I do a little bit of this, you can do blending just with a finger. Look how with that sanded texture, how that goes in, but you're not losing your color to it. It's not looking foggy. Because
not
it's
muted.
one thing is this is the sanded paper and how it grips that
Right.
pigment, and another thing is we're stepping up the quality as we go along with these. The more handmade they get and the more higher end, the more it's pigment
Right.
there. So
Okay.
all right, so let's set those over here. Just keep this out. Then the next one we are going to go to is I'm going to let you try the Unison, just that green one right on top.
All right. So this is a step in the smoother direction.
Yes, we're going even softer.
Okay. Whoa.
And to me, these are very much like the Sennelier are.
Yeah.
The Sennelier actually feel much more like a handmade
I'm
one.
going to try to put as little pressure
Yeah.
as possible.
It's amazing how much it's like it's leaping off before you're even there, isn't it?
It is intense. It's like a paint marker.
Yeah.
Very. I mean, I am trying to just lightly scrape the surface,
Mhm.
and look at all that color releasing.
Yes. Now, when we go to Fixatives, we're going to look at some artworks done. One is in a machine-made, just a lower-end soft pastel, and then another one is done with the Sennelier, so you can see the difference when we put them side by side. And then we're going to put Fixative in it, so you can see the difference in, straight-out total pigment versus, more chalk, kind of what happens when you use that Fixative.
All right.
So, all right, so there's that, and then let's grab you. I know you're really into pink, so
I'm
we're
kind
gonna.
of been out of the loop there. That's what I'm talking about. And we're gonna go right back here on.
Yes. Just see.
Ooh, that is smooth.
Mm-hmm.
It's weird because it's sandpaper, so you'd think it'll be a little gritty, but this is releasing so nicely. It's actually very smooth the way it goes down. You'd think it was just like Yupo paper.
Yeah. Yeah, mine's coming off a little bit more firm, but you can see the difference in how this is really light here and it's darker here.
it's really.
This is a pigment that's not as good to be breathing or dusting everywhere, so they actually are sealing kind of the edges of
I
that.
see.
So it's once you kind of get down beyond that, then all of a sudden it's very smooth. So it's not coming off on your hands.
Right. Okay.
So yeah, so there's that. Just I'll take this. Try this. This is
The
a
heavier-
less.
oh,
This
less.
this should be the 800.
800.
Try that same one on the 800, which is going to be your finer sandpaper. see how it doesn't take off quite as much as that?
Let me
other
try.
one
Let
did?
me try to not be as heavy-handed. Yeah, I see that now.
It's much lighter. And then shift it to try, this is the 240, so it's you're super, super gritty.
Yeah, it's much easier to get
Yes,
those
off
gaps.
on that. Now, if you're going to be layering a lot, obviously you want more tooth, so you're going to want to go with that lower number.
Because as you add layers,
There's going to be a certain point where,
you're not getting,
unless you're using just the softest pastel,
Right.
you're not going to be able to keep building up your layers with that. So
Okay.
just set this here. And then what we're going to do is go to these, grab a Mount Vision one. I'll let you pick.
Are these
It's gonna
gonna
be hard.
sh-
It'll show.
Okay.
I'll grab the light one so you can see it. It should show. Okay, so try that on there.
that has more of a chalky feel to me.
See, it comes off really easy.
It comes off very easy, but it doesn't.
It doesn't. This feels a little bit different, doesn't
It
it?
does feel different.
It's a little more kind of lipsticky. Would you say?
Yes. Okay, I'll try that up here.
Yes, but see, I mean, you can really see this color. You wouldn't think so.
But yeah,
It really pops.
yeah, it does show up on there.
Okay, so, and then, you know, look how beautifully and evenly that blends. It's hard with the rubber gloves. Now, you can put finger cots on. Those little ones that are just kind of where it rolls up.
Uh-huh.
Don't say anything.
I wasn't gonna say anything.
Yeah, but then if you don't like having to wear because if it's warm, you're gonna start getting sweaty
I already
in
am.
the glove, and then it's like
It's actually
feels like you're
filling
painting
with
from a
fluid.
fishbowl. Yeah. So some people use the little really thin cotton ones, but that to me just dust is gonna get through that. It's probably even worse.
Right.
All right. So now you know what? Since we had the blue, we'll do it with this yellow because that'll show. All
Okay.
right. So this to me, the Great American Pastel Works are some of the absolute softest.
Yeah, these are the ones where we
When we opened the
packaging.
package and it was yellow dust. And also, look at the difference in. This is the same color, and then as it gets kind of more muted,
What do you mean it's the same color?
this is the exact same color. This is their Ariel yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And what it's doing is getting more muted as it goes. So eventually it would develop into a gray value. It'll be the same color number. Like this is a 350, then it's a 350.2, and then it's a 350.4.
Sort of like how Phthalo Blue 0.1 is like a green shade and 0.3 is like a red shade.
Kind of, but it's
I don't even
yeah.
know if I got that right. Don't quote me on it. Look it up.
It's similar, but you can see, especially in this, Will, if you can get that, you can see how this is the color, and then this is going up the different kind of gradations towards white.
To make your lives easier.
Well, yeah, that's
All right, I really
all
want
right.
to see what happens
Yeah,
with this.
knock
All right,
yourself
so
out.
we're
Go
gonna
ahead.
go on this.
Yeah, I'm gonna use a light one so you can see.
Ooh, that's soft.
Isn't it ridiculous?
It feels
like-
weird.
It does. It
Now
feels...
I just touched it.
Yeah.
And it crumbled on me. So
No, did you do the corners? Yeah.
Oh, you can't do the corners.
Well, you can once you start working, but at first it's
These are soft.
yeah, yep. Now these, I will say with anything that's with any pastel, unless it's hard, any soft pastel, when you go to the store and buy shoes or anything that those little silica packs come in, a purse, makeup, anything, save them and stick them in your pastel boxes. Because if you're around any humidity or you travel with them or whatever, where you've got, varying humidity, temperatures, it'll keep the moisture out. Because what happens is I had a set of these and it got out in like a nice sunny day, all day, where it was very humid. The foam that they were in got damp.
And then these.
And
kinda
then
melted
this
into-
happened.
Oh, they just.
It was
breaking.
just falling apart. But the nice thing is you can take that now and turn it outside.
let me get the sides down.
All right, I'm going to take this and do the. I'm going to do it on the white so it's easier to see. And this white is another sanded one, but this is actually watercolor paper. But look at this.
Right. Now I'm gonna jump onto this 240 grit,
Mm-hmm.
so you can really see that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice. works really.
application at home.
Now see how it's starting to come off with the.
Oh yeah, now that we kind of got that skin off, it's coming off.
Now take that
really-
same one and try it back on this paper and see what happens. See if it fills it better.
No, I'll just go right here.
I don't remember which one I was using.
Go that way.
So feel how that just comes off like crazy.
Oop. You got to be careful.
Mike likes to break things.
I'm.
Well, but it shows you how sometimes it's a learning curve. Is it that bad or is it just you?
I don't know.
Oh, no, it's pretty crumbly.
So this is the Great American Artworks pastel.
But they're not usually like that. But the nice thing is, look, there are people that just paint with little pieces.
With the little nubbins.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
nice.
it's not that can't be kept.
Let me try that for Will's camera. I'm just making a mess. Okay, I think we've done our damage with
All
this
right.
brand.
So now we're gonna take that. Did you put any on the watercolor paper?
No.
Okay. Pick any of these that are the softer handmade ones that we've been discussing, and then we'll show when you put water with it. what
So
happens.
like these, I guess these are the Mount Vision.
Yeah, whatever you want.
All right, so just apply some to the. All right, now these are these marketed as water soluble?
It's made with gum arabic, and you can do underpaintings with it. Yes.
Okay.
You can either use water, or you can even use. I'll let you use water. I'm going to use the spike lavender oil,
Well, you're fancy.
which is just a solvent. It's a spike lavender oil essence. You can use denatured alcohol also. But what this enables you to do is you don't have to use very much. I mean, look at
used
how
a
far I
lot.
can pull that color.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this with a slightly less damp.
Is you can tone a paper, you can do an underdrawing, especially like if you're doing landscape or portrait, you can do this underdrawing first.
Well, let's make sure that we're getting that on camera up there so everybody can see. No, I'm going to see what happens.
And then this will dissolve completely, the paper will dry from this, and it'll just only leave the color where it's at. So you could take these and do, your little landscape. And you could just barely sketch it in here. I don't know how well those will work.
It's starting to smell like lavender.
Mm-hmm. Better than turpentine from our Oils 101.
You guys missed that one. I actually, when we were done with that Jerry's Live, I actually had to sit down. I was like, I mentioned it was taco night. It was a very important night at my house. And I was just like, I can't drive right now. I need to just kind of like let it breathe.
That turpentine was.
It's so important that you
Making the
use proper
mediums.
ventilation or something that's non-toxic with no carcinogens like the Chelsea Classical.
Yeah, that medium could have been made with the Chelsea Classical, but it was to prove the point of.
My sacrifice for you. Brain cells. And maybe 3 years of my life.
That pulled up some of the color, but see how you can do just a little.
Yep.
Just for your underpainting, you can really wash it out. I didn't scrub it, and this isn't really a pastel-y surface, but it'll work on those boards or anything.
Okay.
So that's a good way to do an underpainting. Now, a word of caution for underpainting, as long as we're talking about it. It's not good to use. You can use other mediums. You can use acrylics. You can use gouache. You can use things like that. Watercolor, because it's transparent, doesn't really transcend well into this because these are opaque. Watercolor gouache.
Watercolor
is
gouache.
the key to do it because you've got that fluid media of the watercolor, but it's not going to, because with pastels, as you can see on all the papers we've got, you're going to have little glimpses of that background peeking through, which is why people use like a toned paper or things like that. So what you're doing with that is you're making it so it's an opaque color. So when you see those little color pops through there, it's still opaque with the pastels. Otherwise, it just looks really weird. It all of a sudden makes that top drawing with the pastels look really flat and then has this kind of weird translucent under peaking. So
is that it for the we didn't
pan
do the
pastels, yes. One last thing.
Pans of pastel.
This is actually the portrait set. See how it's in a little palette where it's out where you can work with it. You can take these out and put different colors in. It's all sealed. Storage jars for them, and the tools can fit in there. You can take the top off and
let me show that.
put those little tools
The
in the
tools.
bottom. Yeah, let's use the tools in the bottom actually. We'll just leave these.
That just kind of all for your convenience.
Leave it open. We'll use those. Since
Should I not use this?
Yeah, we'll use these since we're using the set. I'll let you use the little stick one.
Oh.
All right.
I don't know what the heck you do with this.
All right.
Ooh, gold. I'm a Goldstein.
Yep, there we go. Oh, look at that.
Oh.
So these are all metallics. Look how nice those are.
And I made a Mickey Mouse again. Okay.
All right. So with these, you're using them. I mean, I think there's some people who I don't know how painstakingly use these to make a painting, but I think these are perfect for just touching into the painting.
Okay, making minor adjustments.
Yeah.
So how heavy-handed should I be when I dive in?
However you want, just try it out. You won't know. I mean, it's very light. You can see that comes up pretty easily. And then, oh wow, look at that. You can just dot that on and apply it. Yeah, so I mean, this is, and then the little stick, you can put the thing on. I mean, just leave little touches. You can use it to draw with, whatever.
These actually, they feel really nice.
It's kind of, for one thing, you can use tools and not have to touch. You can use brushes. Yeah, so it takes away a little bit of the mess factor of the, oh wow, look how rich that is.
Yeah.
So they're very rich,
Yeah.
and very soft, and they're wildly popular.
Okay, well, we want to keep this video under 4 hours, so let's move on to oil pastels.
Oil pastels,
and see if we can wrap this up in a nice tight package. My favorite kind. All right, so we're on to our oil pastels.
We are at oil pastels now.
You made it this far.
You have. Bully for you.
Yeah.
All right, so with oil pastels, mineral oil and pigment.
Okay.
So they're never going to dry.
So that's important to know, and I guess we'll get to this later. When you're varnishing, these never dry.
Yes, they don't. So you're either going to have one or two options. You're going to be framing them,
Behind
keep
glass.
them protected, or there is a spray by Sennelier that's an acrylic resin spray that I've brought a piece that I did with oil pastels, and you'll be able to see. You can put your hand on it, nothing comes up, but it's just painstaking light coats to get it to the point of where it's protected.
Okay.
Okay, so now with these, this is kind of where it's very obviously more the beginner quality or the professional quality.
Okay.
There's really not a lot that's in between. So what we're going to start out with, we've got the big gallery ones up there, but we're going to start out with just kind of more of like what a basic set is. Now, when you look at oil pastels, a good way of determining, is this going to be kind of more student grade or not? This has obviously got a lot of paraffin in it. See how the color is cloudy?
I mean, but once I start...
Well, yes, but also keep in mind that those dark colors, I mean, this is a dark blue, once you're done drawing on it, that wax bloom can come back up to the top.
Ah.
Okay, so which is fine as long as you fix it in a quick fashion, but this isn't your like hardcore professional quality.
Okay.
So go ahead and use that kind of in a corner so you can see that it does come out where it is darker than.
You can see where that's...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see the difference?
But you're saying that if I leave this over time, it will cloud up again?
Yes. Yep.
No, this doesn't feel like it's going to crumble apart on me like a soft pastel. It's,
right.
It glides more like lipstick.
It kind of.
Kind of? I don't use lipstick, so I don't really know.
It seems like that, but just wait till we get to the really high-end professional quality.
Then it will seem like I'm using lipstick?
Yeah, this is going to seem like you were using shoe. What do you when you shine your shoes?
Shiner?
That paste.
That kind of slick.
Yeah. So let's put those.
Now, what's the difference between that and a crepe pas?
They're very similar. That just is even kind of lower end wax. This has got better quality pigments and stuff like that, and the crepe pas are just kind of your kids version, where these are kind of like more like your student to adults looking at trying out oil pastels, because there are some different techniques than with regular pastels. So it doesn't hurt to try them with those. It's inexpensive, and even with the painting I'm going to show in a little bit, I used a bunch of the gallery black ones, but then that was when I noticed the wax bloom problem, so I went back over it with the professional ones.
Look at you.
Yeah.
All right, so what are we moving on to next?
So then we're going to go from there to well, we'll show the water soluble ones next because these are just a little bit different version, a little more lipsticky version of the student grade. I brought this. This was done with these. You can see where it's been kind of washed out with some water.
So like water mixable oil, this is a water mixable oil pastel.
It is essentially, yes. So we've got the water soluble pastels.
Right. Okay. So
and I think we were saying that with oil painting, it can be a dry oil painting under it. Oil pastels can go on top of it if you want to make it mixed media, but not vice versa because that mineral oil that never dries has to be on the top.
So think of it like fat over lean. This is always going to be fat. This is always going to be fat no matter how long you leave it out there. So you never want why am I still doing this voice? So you never want
Sanford Insider.
Yeah. All right.
Just take one of these and just so you can see the difference in this being
You
able
big
to
dummy.
be. Yeah.
All right. Okay, I'm going to get another.
I can't get them out. There we go.
So
All right.
you can see there's a slight wax
Yes.
blooming.
But not as bad. And I'm using one that's see how that's softer than the other one?
Yeah.
Okay, and this one's a nice pearlescent. That's really nice.
It writes nicely.
So I mean that obviously is much softer.
Right.
So these are a little bit better quality, a little richer, a little smoother, and have that ability to be soluble. Now with these, they are soluble with solvents.
Now, when you use water mixable oils and you start using water as a medium, it can dull the color. Is it a similar thing where you're better off using a solvent instead of water?
With the water mixable ones, no, the water's fine. You're not going to be using a lot because the color's going to pick up really fast, so you don't need a lot of it.
Okay.
All right, so then we're moving on to the Gallery, the extra soft oil pastels. That's the same as this box. That's the nice kind of presentation box of it.
So this is where we're making the jump.
This is kind of when we're starting into the more professional. See how that is very different. It doesn't have that kind of cloudy outer surface at all.
Right. So the white and I guess the blue is really the one to show.
Yeah, the dark ones are where you're really going to see the difference.
Okay.
Okay, so just grab any.
Hey, I got a thing going.
Grab the pink. I'm just going to start saying that. So.
Don't start saying that.
All right, now see how much softer that is, even than that water soluble one.
Sorry, I'm still getting over it. Yes. And I'm applying a good amount of pressure. It's not breaking on me. This is actually
but it's still easy to sketch with.
Loosening me up, yeah.
It's still very easy to sketch with. The colors are very vibrant. Kind of with all pastels, and it's something I just thought about looking at this, where you can tell where the best quality pastels are the darkest colors.
The richest, darkest colors.
Yes, which, as you can see in the scenario, look how dark you can make those.
Right.
Versus the darks in this.
This is just a jumbo version of that.
Yes.
And so, here's
that's a dark blue.
This is
that's not even a black. And just look how deep and rich, where you don't get as wide of a range with these. That's how you can tell the true top echelon professional ones. All right, so we're gonna jump to the Neo Pastel, or kind of our next.
All right, so this is our presentation box.
Yes.
We show you the nice, pretty ones, and then we destroy these.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Okay.
Now, what's going on here?
That's a little bit of wax.
Even the best of them.
Yes, and these Neo Pastels are actually used a lot by encaustics artists because you can use oil pastels with encaustics.
Oh, good tip.
Yes, so they have a little bit firmer wax to them, but you notice the darks are very nice and dark.
So why are these Neo Pastels, not just oil pastels?
It's just the brand name. I don't know.
It's
you
just
have
the name.
to,
Okay, but these are still oil pastels.
Yes, still, but see how that's still pretty soft.
Oh yeah.
It's surprisingly soft. They look and they feel like they wouldn't be as soft because it's a very firm pastel stick. So see, you can do some nice kind of lighter handed drawing and then heavier with it. So it's nice because it's got a good in-between feel. With the Sennelier is kind of where we're gonna see the difference. And then they've got a version that's also, this is actually a water mixable version.
This isn't just a box of Swiss chocolate.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of fancy, isn't it?
So this is a water
This is their water soluble version. So why don't you grab just one of them?
Oh no, my clean finger.
And you know what? I'm going to take this and just show. See, there's your water soluble.
So this actually holds together pretty well.
Oh wow, I like the texture of those.
Do you now?
That's nice.
So I'm using this in between regular oil pastels. What's going to happen?
Well, I mean, it would be fine. You could do that. Use a little bit of solvent here.
I'm using
Try
water.
that. Well, solvent's fine too, because then it kind of wets both of them down.
Oh, well, I want to wet
the
both.
water, the water soluble one will kind of come away first, and then your other one will stay almost more as a resist. Wow, that's really.
It actually gives you a really nice subtle blend, and yeah.
See, isn't that fun?
Yeah. Actually having fun.
Yeah. Now, they say with oil pastels that you could mix them with linseed oil.
Okay. Is that a lie?
Well, no, it's true. The problem is then you're putting an oxidizing oil with a non-oxidizing oil.
And
so the linseed is going to stay wet longer because obviously the mineral oil is firm and doesn't, get all...
whatever that is.
Well, just linseed oil, it's going to take a couple days to dry at least.
Okay.
So I would think it's better just if you want to blend things to use solvent.
So
all right, so grab the whole vine. We're going to try that because that's.
Are these the right ones? These look like
yes.
the semi-hard pastels.
Yes, because I think they probably use a similar mold.
But these are oil
These
pastels.
are oil pastels. So I'll let you pick the color first.
Oh.
There's not pink to choose from.
No. So I'm gonna go in between these and the blue.
Okay.
So this should go down like a.
Yeah. No, it's going to be softer. You can feel it.
Oh, that's softer. Yeah.
I don't like that it doesn't have paper. It feels creepy.
I'm not having that issue.
No,
It feels creepy.
it does. It's just very. It's just that little bit of kind of dampness of it. That's nice. See, you can get nice lines with that. So they just don't put any wrapping on theirs. It's just very pure. They come in these beautiful little like case plastic boxes.
Plastic boxes. Okay, so
They're
what's
very tiny? All right, so the Mac Daddy.
the Grand Poobah?
Yes, definitely is the Snellier, and
I'm
I've brought my own set, so
Can I
we
use
didn't
the
mess up
big
this
one?
pretty set. You can use either of these or mine too. So you
Okay,
can use
I
either
want
one.
the big one.
All right, but feel.
I can take it. Oh, that didn't help things.
No. Try that and just see what I'm talking about.
Woo!
There's no way this can all be
That
taken
glides
off.
right on.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Now that's what lipstick feels like, right?
Yes.
He's a theater person. He knows. They're chuckling.
So this is not black. This is a blue.
Yes, it's a
and
blue.
We're going to try to prove that.
Yep. And with oil pastels,
It's like
same
a
as
Prussian blue.
same as regular pastels. Just keep a cloth or something to kind of wipe the dust off. Just pick stuff up. Yeah, and then look, you can hit it with.
Fun to work with.
Yes. And you can use this on canvas. The beauty of oil pastels,
Yes.
you can use it on canvas, wood, metal, pretty much anything. Glass, it will stick to anything.
This will stick to glass.
Yes, it'll stick to glass. Acrylic, yeah. Yeah. Well, they were invented for Picasso specifically, so
These
he
artists had a
wanted
lot
to
of
try
clout.
a bunch of crazy stuff
Yeah.
with it. So this is oil pastels. It's a little bit more like bringing out the kid in you because it's not that smoother, really fine powdery.
Right. No, it
nature.
it forces you to kind of loosen up because it's
It
slippery.
does.
It's
it
slippery.
does. Well, and you can get some detail, but it's still kind of, you really have to play with it to make it
Sure.
more detailed. So it's kind of a good way. That was, I didn't like them, and that was actually, I started doing them to try to loosen up because I'm just always way too,
Tight.
yeah, way too conservative in my drawing. So you'll see when we show the pastel that I put the fixative on, you'll see it's very different.
So that's our final.
This is it. So now we just need to know how to fix this stuff, and we're good.
Okay, so we're going to get fixed, and we'll be right back with you. All right, so we've heard Amy spiel about fixatives. Now we're going to see her fix something.
Yes. And first, we're going to show some reasons why you would fix something.
Yeah, why does something need to be fixed?
So he can get a close up.
Well, there's glare. Is there glare?
See how it's gone everywhere? Number one, when you store these, you need to put a piece of glassine paper between them.
Okay.
And then it has to be, stuff can come from that way. You can't have lateral movement because you're going to have things dust out. It's fine if it's vertical with nothing on it, but it's going to have a spacer when you frame it.
Right.
Okay. So, and what you've gotten with this is just, it's probably been fixed, but it can't hold it for forever.
Right.
And it's going to come up. When you've got that spacer, the dust falls down. You don't see it.
Right.
It's not a mess. This is obviously a bad thing to do. This is not archival at all. And
right.
It's just going to mess up your drawing. The same with this one. It's the same kind of thing has happened. You can see it, that it's dusted everywhere with this nice.
Oh yeah, I mean this is really dulled down. Hopefully we're picking it up.
Yeah. No, it's just, and you can see it under the plastic. You can see those colors have like bonded to it and lifted when you move just a little bit of plastic.
Yeah.
So this is just not what you want to do. You only want it if it's not. You want it packed away safely between two boards with glassine over that surface, not to be moved. It'd be good to tape it like up here, flip it down so it can't move around. It's not loose.
Right.
Okay. So this is what I was mentioning about. It's easy enough to see. I was talking about when painting with an easel with pastels. You can see where this color, the pigment's so rich. This was done with those Sennelier
Let's go
pastels.
back to Will so he can get a good shot.
You can see where, as it's worked, that pigment has fallen down. It was done at an angle about like this.
Right. But you could have done it at an angle.
Yes.
Like that.
I could have, but I wanted people to be able to see
intentionally
what that does intentionally.
Okay.
Plus, I've got a giant double-masted diesel that I think if you tilted it that far, it probably would
kill you.
Yeah, come crashing down. So we've got that, and then we've got. Can you slide that over?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, now these are done with two different pastels. Neither of these have been fixed. This is done with a student grade pastel. That's just a basic soft pastel. This is done with the Sennelier, the kind of highest end of the machine-made pastels, which the handmade pastels are going to do the same thing. So we're going to discuss how you would fix these, and then we'll show an oil pastel that's been fixed. Okay, now when you are spraying, first you're going to want to use a spray specifically for the pastels. Yeah. And really, I'm going to probably get hate mail from this. If the company makes pastels and professional pastels, probably their pastel spray is actually going to be a professional pastel spray. So if you're not sure and you've never used it and you don't want to make an artwork that you could potentially ruin, just buy something that's from a company that's reputable that makes pastels already.
Why are we going to get hate mail for that?
I don't know.
If anything, it's be something that I do.
I don't know, because you just never know.
You never know. Okay.
People, you know.
Well, I'll send you some.
So then we've got this. This is Sennelier makes. This is oil pastel fixative. So we're going to talk about that.
No, fixative is not varnish. It's not designed to alter the sheen. It's just meant to do that. Just fix it, make it stay in place.
It's meant to just fix it and the top layers.
Right.
Okay. It's not gonna. Like this is soft. There's a lot of layers. Potentially, if it's knocked around some, it may come loose, and you don't want to put so much on it that then it's actually going to kind of delaminate that top layer of color. So we've got this, and then this is actually a traditional, this is what they used to use back in the day for pastels. It's a casein-based, milk protein-based fixative.
Well, let's go ahead and do what we said we were going to do, which is, they've already probably heard
some
of this.
Now when you were doing this, you want to spray over.
Right.
Okay.
We could have probably done this beforehand, but
it was.
Should I shake something else while you're doing?
No, I was.
Okay.
It's actually.
I wanted to join in on the fun, but.
Okay.
Very light, like his light.
See, it's just a mist. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and you're gonna want to leave it.
That smells nice.
Yes.
It smells like glue.
All right. While we're doing this, you go back and do a couple coats.
So this is the apple.
This is the one that's the student
Let's make
grade.
it sparkle.
I just have a feeling a lot of the white is gonna dull. Now as that dries,
How long?
That
How
might
long will it
lighten.
take to dry?
I mean, it shouldn't be that long. You can smell there's a little bit of resin in it and alcohol, but I mean, I would think probably the other one's ready for coating because it's
That quickly.
yeah. I mean, if you obviously you're not on film and you've got the time,
Right.
wait, but
And you're going to do
So we're
another
gonna take
coat,
it-
and you're going to go this way
yes,
this time.
take it
That's a
and do
very
this.
important thing to alternate.
And if you're noticing spattering or anything like that, you can kind of make a little tent, like if the nozzle's dirty, always clean the nozzles out too when you're done. Take it outside, spray it upside down.
Until nothing comes out.
Yep,
Basically.
and wipe that nozzle tip. So
Okay.
see how that hasn't lost any of the vibrancy? It's still quite vibrant, even
Right.
with 2 coats so far.
And how many coats would you recommend?
If you're doing it light, maybe 3.
3 coats. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason to go crazy with it. It's just to keep it from that glassine adhering to it.
Now we're going to talk about
right.
oil pastel fixative.
Oil pastel fixative is made with acrylic resins. This is an oil pastel. So
Look at that. I won't do it, but here, let me.
that's actually just dust and pastel from
yeah,
touching that.
It's.
I
you would
mean,
think
nothing
a
comes
lot-
off. Now this
yeah.
is a lot of this is on linen. This is on a it's got probably 7 or 8 coats, very light coats where I did the same thing, spray, then go back the other way, but just and then kind of test on a side. The black is always very angry and wants to come up. That's
Right.
what you get on you the most. So I mean, you can make that so that it's completely fixed.
Okay, you can keep going.
So yeah, so and it kept the vibrancy of the color, and like we were talking about with the pastels that have the wax where it migrates, I just put professional quality over it, and that stopped it.
And it's
then
framed
fixed it.
without glass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
framed
very
without
nice.
glass.
Okay, well, okay, so that's good. So that's about it for our after party, I think.
I think so.
We've showed them everything that we hopefully spoke about. We don't know yet, but you actually know more than we do at this point.
I know.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So if you've made it this far along, thank you so much for joining
Yes.
us. Should we hug them like we do on the?
Yeah,
we do
hug and
hug
thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you on our next after party.
Yes.
And these after parties are designed for specific Jerry's lives that we're doing something that we really want to make sure you can see it in high definition. So we won't be doing after parties for every single Jerry's live, but the ones like this where there's a lot going on. So
Definitely.
thanks for joining us, and
Yes,
I think
thanks.
I think we should just end it there before I get fixed.